So, some might be wondering what's going on today on October 20th, 2025, Monday. We're just 14 miles shy of hitting 155,000 miles, which in turn is just 14 miles shy of getting 5,000 miles on the E3 Diamondfire E3.68 spark plugs that I installed in this motor at exactly 150,000 miles. Now, obviously, I'm not going to pull the boots to show you that, or the coils rather. The boots are on the coils. So let me show you that. Here's what it looks like, the E3.68 spark plug. And yes, while the truck takes 16 of them, I ordered 18, so I have a couple of extras for any of my fellow elevator men who might be watching this. You know what it means to have an extra for dropsies. You can have dropsies in that engine compartment and ruin the plug, so that'd be a stupid way to strand yourself. So yes, I ordered 18 for the first time around that I bought these. But here is the Diamondfire technology they talk about. Here is what the E3.68 looks like right here. There you go, all its glory. Even shows it right here. Now, by and large, I'm very big on going OEM and buying from the dealer when possible. But there are some instances where that doesn't always pay off, and it's not always worth it. And I'm about to demonstrate this with this supposed Mopar spark plug. More on that in a second. I know I'm usually about protecting my warranty because I have my Mopar Max Care, which, if the actual spark plug itself said Mopar, maybe there would still be a case to pay the exorbitant $30 a plug that they want. And again, it takes 16 of them. But I'm not about to show you here. You're just paying for the box to say Mopar. And let me show you what I'm talking about here. So here it is. See, box is nicely sealed, all in real time. I'm going to pull this apart. Here you go. Bosch. It says Bosch right here. I don't know how well the camera's picking it up. Doesn't say Mopar at all. Just says Bosch. There you go. And if you, this is specifically the Bosch Iridium R6. Doesn't even give you the name. And here's what the plug looks like. Pre-gapped also. So always keep this protective sleeve on until you're ready to install the spark plug. So just wanted to show you that that I don't think it's really worth it here. And I saved my old spark plugs, which also don't say Mopar on them. These are the Denso Iridium IKH16. Remember, I'm on my third set of plugs. Look how crusty this looks too. I'm gonna talk about why. I also just did it myself this time and didn't go to the dealer. More on that in a moment. So there you go. Even the ones that came before. So whether you get these Bosch or Denzos, how the dealer who's servicing it, let's say, will know that it came from them or a box store, and you can get it for literally a third of the price. So I don't think this motor is really affected too much by whose spark plugs you choose to use, and I'll explain that in a second as well. Now, on some engines and some cars, it's absolutely crucial that you get your spark plugs from the dealer because of the way the misfire is monitored. Now, what do I mean by that? Misfires are often monitored by the crank sensor, you know, because your crankshaft actually flexes. But on some engines, and my greatest example when I first learned of this from E3 Diamondfire, is sometimes they go by the resistance on the spark plug, because depending how your motor fires, you know, in the cylinders, affects the temperature of the combustion chamber. You know, so your temperature down here will ultimately affect the resistance up here, and the coil pack is measuring the resistance. That's how the L61 Ecotechs worked. So for example, let's just say it's the combustion chamber under here. When the motor's running right, let's say the combustion chamber is 1,000 degrees, let's say, right? When the combustion chamber is 1,000 degrees down here, let's just say the resistance up here is 1,000 ohms, just to keep it simple, right? Well, in the case of my old Ecotech that I had, when I tried to put the E3 in there, okay, so when the combustion chamber was, let's say, 1,000 degrees, let's say the resistance was 800 ohms, or maybe 1,200, some deviation thereabout. I think you get the gist of it. That'll cause it to say that the engine's misfiring, even though it's actually not. Yes, E3 Diamond Fire will actually reverse engineer these engines and their management systems to make sure that their product is, in fact, compatible. And that's why I'm using them. I'm not being endorsed by them. Very interesting to know that I learned that from E3 Diamond Fire. One would have thought the General Motors school would have taught me that. But in that particular instance, the spark plug itself is going to say AC Delco. Apparently, that's not what Chrysler's doing here, or at least not for this motor. Evident by the fact that they started with Denso, now they switched to Bosch. So they are switching who they're using, so you are, again, really only paying $30 a pop for this to say Mopar. And if you go with a high enough quality aftermarket product like E3, they will stand behind their product. So if there was ever a misfire that happened because of their spark plugs, they will send you another set. And if there's still an issue because of them, they'll gladly give you back your money. And that's my other thing too, is if you're using E3, yes, you can buy directly from their website, create an account with their website, and buy directly from them. That's what I did. I'm thinking if there was a problem, I think I would have had one by now, but after almost 5,000 miles, no, motor's running great, and it couldn't be happier. And delving back into the old plugs here to show why just maybe it isn't worth paying the $1,200 the dealership wanted or the $30 a pop. Just look at the condition of these. For something that supposedly only has 77,000 miles on it. Now, I showed this to a couple of friends. They were quick to tell me these are still my original ones, and the dealer never changed the spark plugs when I asked for it to be done sometime in 2021. I kind of have a problem with that, and here's why. First and foremost, when it comes to an accusation like that, or really any accusation, you need proof. And what would I have to prove such an accusation if I were ever to want to make such an accusation? Not that I ever did, but if I were to, what proof is there? So I don't think that would be the case, and the dealer I use is a very reputable one, and one of the few that try not to be your typical dealership of today. Especially we also deal with Chrysler products, and the simple fact that the quality is kind of declining. Now, I know these aren't technically Chrysler per se, but I don't see any evidence to show that. And also, when you don't put any kind of anti-seize on here, these will crust up very quickly. And I know I had to use this to take off some of them. And if you ever find yourself having to, you go in bursts. You want to keep spinning on the threads. Obviously, you use this to take it off, but never to go back in. Especially this one. This one's the gnarliest of all here. So then you have just a little bit of build. Remember that these tolerances are tight. I personally use anti-seize when I put in the spark plugs, because as I'll show you here, a nice Haynes manual, and they're really good about, you know, what to do and what not to do. Now, if it was truly adverse to put anti-seize on the threads, it would be telling you not to. But that wasn't the case here. Actually, it tells you to do so. Here's the Haynes manual, 30043. I'm going to open right here to page 1-28. What do you know? Look at that. It is showing someone putting anti-seize on the spark plug threads. So that's something I did different as well. In addition, I also put dielectric grease on the boots and the connector ends. So with all that having been done, I think it'll come out easier. And now that I'm doing it myself, and I don't have to worry about money so much because of what I saved doing it myself, I will be doing this every 50,000 miles, so they'll be coming out more often. Yeah, that it did this in such a short period of time. Yeah, that just further makes my case of why it does not warrant the $30 a pop that the dealership wants, because I just saved myself $1,118 doing it myself. So that's the beauty of a truck. Yeah, the back cylinders can be a little bit of a bear. It takes a bit of doing, but it can be done. And it's not like you have to take off an intake plenum or anything crazy like that. Well, anyhow, that's what I wanted to show. That was my review of the E3 spark plugs and how well the motor's faring. Now, you can always feel free to comment. Any input is greatly appreciated. Be safe out there. Have a great day. And don't be a stranger.